evening, everybody. Hello. Please, can I ask you to start taking your seats? And also to remind you to silence all your mobile devices. We have a few minutes left, it's fine. So could you start taking your seats now, please? Are you ready, so... Can you hear me? Okay. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 IMO Awards Ceremony. Every year, IMO honours and recognises individuals who have contributed greatly to the objectives of the organisation through their dedicated work and through exceptional acts of bravery at sea. This evening, we will present the International Maritime Prize for 2020 and the IMO Awards for Exceptional Bravery at Sea for 2021. To open proceedings, it gives me great pleasure to hand the floor to the IMO Secretary General, Mr. Ki-Tak Lim.
Mr. President, Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates and observers, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 IMO Awards Ceremony, bringing together this organization's two most prestigious awards, which have become a true IMO tradition. The International Maritime Prize was first presented in 1981. Since then, we have seen a succession of highly distinguished people receive the award from across the world. The IMO Awards for Exceptional Bravery at the Sea is now in its 11th year, and the previous winners include seafarers, professional rescuers who, at the risk of losing their own life, performed acts of exceptional bravery, displaying outstanding courage in attempting to save life at the sea, or to prevent or mitigate damage to the marine environment. Both awards therefore recognize individuals who have the IMO mission in their hearts, the safety of life at sea, and the pollution prevention. The winner of the highest IMO Awards for Exceptional Bravery at the Sea, Mr. Tran Van Khoi from Vietnam, and the recipients of the certificates of commendation are not able to be with us in person today due to the pandemic. However, the Secretariat has made a film outlining Mr. Tran Van Khoi's incredible act of determination and bravery that saved the lives, as well as details of the specific incidents in which inspirational and courageous people have gone beyond the call of duty to save others and or to avert the environmental disaster for which the Council agreed they should receive certificates of commendation. I would like to begin the International Maritime Prize, which is awarded annually by the IMO Council to the individual or organizations judged to have made the most significant contribution to the work and objectives of IMO. In this way, we honor those people who have not only dedicated their working lives to the IMO, but also have been truly inspiring. The recipient of the 2020 International Maritime Prize is someone who has spent many days here in the IMO corridors and has dedicated his entire career to shipping safety and the maritime industry. Mr. Paul Sadler began his distinguished maritime career by graduating from the University of Newcastle upon Tyne with a Bachelor of Science in Naval Architecture and Shipbuilding. He has held roles as a production manager and the design and the project engineer in the United Kingdom shipping industry, and was instrumental in introducing quality standards at the British shipbuilder Sunderland shipyard, such that it became the first shipyard in the world to achieve ISO 9000 certification. In May 1991, Paul joined the UK Maritime and Coast Guard Agency as a ship surveyor, becoming the government's maritime surveyor to the Queen Elizabeth II cruiser ship. He was also recognized for his sensitive and knowledgeable approach in handling the United Kingdom's response to the safety of bulk carrier following the loss of the motor vessel Derbyshire, and later the domestic river boat, the Merchantess. In December 1998, Paul was appointed Deputy Permanent Representative of United Kingdom to IMO, subsequently being appointed Permanent Representative in June 2005 until 2007. After leaving the UK government in 2007, the International Association of a Classification Society called IACS appointed Paul as their accredited representative to IMO, and he continued to attend IMO meetings in that role until his retirement in 2019. Over a period of 12 years, Paul oversaw IAC's work at IMO on major initiatives such as goal-based standards, the Recognized Organization Code, EPS Code, in Chapter 4, MARPOL Annex 6. He also offered invaluable advice to improve the clarity of regulations through unified interpretation. Paul has shared his passion for advancing knowledge to the next generation of marine engineers. He has also lectured widely on a voluntary basis, student and maritime industry organizations, both in the UK and overseas, on IMO and the role of classification societies and recognized organizations. Paul served as a member of the World Maritime University's Board of Governors for 10 years. From 2010, in 2020, WMU awarded him an honorary fellow in recognition of his distinguished service to the maritime world. His work at IMO and his advocacy for robust, pragmatic, and effective maritime regulation was recognized with a distinguished public service award from the United States Coast Guard in 2017. Mr. Paul Sadler, he started as a deputy representative of UK MCA in the same year as I started work as a maritime attaché first time in 1998. Since then, I have observed his contribution, activities, performance, super excellent in detail of very minor, very detailed technical issues. At the same time, he made from time to time, as necessary, as needed, very professional, elegant, high level of diplomatic statement and addresses. So at that time I thought, oh, he is talented politics. And then he commended all the time English. It's not direct. I believe that English is sound like Queen's English, very royal English. So impressed all of us, not only by his technical expertise, but also his high-level diplomatic attitude, diplomatic performance toward all delegates representing United Kingdom. So since then, I have known him quite closely, and all the time he has been kind to any of the delegates, not only also a secretariat as well. And also he has been working, as I mentioned, as a board of governor of the World Maritime University. I am the chancellor of the World Maritime University, but I couldn't read all document in detail. I knew just the main structure of document. And when I chaired the meeting, whenever I received the intervention or question, he knows exactly all documents submitted to the Board of Governors meeting, WMU. Just he read all IMO technical document. So he contributed greatly to WMU as well. So I believe he had contributed to the IMO Maritime Law Institute as well. So he is exemplary, the IMO delegate for a long time, who gave inspiration, aspiration to all of us. With that, Mr. Sadler, Paul, you are truly a worthy recipient of the International Maritime Prize for 2020. Thank you.
So we would like to thank the Government of the United Kingdom and IAX for nominating Mr. Sadler, and we are deeply honoured that he is here with us this evening. And I would like to invite him to come forward, please, to receive the 2020 International Maritime Prize. So now I'd like to invite Mr. Sadler to say a few words. Thank you.
Secretary General, President, Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you very much, Secretary General, for those very kind words. I thought at one stage I was going to have to fine you for using my copyrighted phrase of effective and efficient implementation of regulations, but you just veered away from it just at the right time. Thank you, sir. It is amazing to stand here with so many friends and familiar faces in front of me. Thank you so much for making the effort to come here, especially those of you who have come thousands of miles. It is very special. I understand that you have already listened to a number of speeches today. Consequently, I am assuming you would prefer to hear the short rather than the long version of what I have to say. However, as I have often said in this room, brevity does not imply any lack of sincerity. First, I must thank the Council for deciding that I should receive this award. However, that would not have happened if I had not been nominated by the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I have to say that bit carefully in case there's an ex-chairman of the Maritime Safety Committee listening in. And I also need to thank, of course, the International Association of Classification Societies. And I would like to formally place on record my thanks to both the UK government and to the IAX Council. I firmly believe I am only receiving this award because of all the talented, inspiring, and dedicated people I have had the good fortune of working with, not just in the UK's Maritime and Coast Guard Agency and IACS, but also here at the IMO. A long time ago, I did port state control inspections. Sometimes I had to decide whether to detain a ship or not. In my experience, this question did not always have a simple yes or no answer. What sometimes helped me reach a decision was to think how I would feel when driving that short distance home in the evening to my loved ones. If I had allowed a ship to sail, then it, and more importantly, those on board, would be heading out into the English Channel and then often into the North Atlantic. How safe would they be when I went to bed that night? The people I worked with also had this thinking at the core of everything they did. To me, it is summarised in the inspiring narrative that begins, "They that go down to the sea in ships and occupy their business in great waters." Words that are inscribed on the walls of the General Committee Room of the oldest classification society, providing a constant reminder to all those who meet there of how their work is focused on keeping ships and those on board safe. Shipping is a truly global industry. It therefore needs a global regulator to facilitate a global level playing field. This simple line of logic leads to the conclusion that if the IMO didn't exist, it would have to be invented. However, I believe it is not just that the IMO is needed to facilitate global trade that spurs you, year after year, to prepare carefully for and participate actively in IMO meetings. It is also, in my belief, that when you go home to your loved ones after an IMO meeting, you know you have played a vital role in getting all those who go down to the sea in ships safely home to their loved ones. Collectively and individually, you should therefore remember to take time to remind yourselves and take great pride in the work that is done in this house. Finally, memories are a very special part of life. This evening and this award have given me and my family a very special memory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sadler, and our deepest congratulations to you. I now hand the floor again to the Secretary-General.
In presenting the next awards, I'd like to speak about the COVID-19 pandemic and the effect it continues to have on seafarers. Seafarers have been and continue to be on the front line during this pandemic, delivering food, medicine, and vital goods for the global economy. At this 125th session, the Council decided to give once again special recognition to all seafarers for their outstanding response and endurance while facing extremely difficult conditions due to COVID-19 crisis. The Council also decided to award a tailored letter of commendation to Captain Juan Feliu and Captain Reinero Salas, pilots, and Mr. Edgar Gaskin and Mr. Rasaldo Acosta, launch operators with the Panama Canal Authority, nominated by Panama, highlighting best practices in aiding vessels in need of assistance during the pandemic. Regretfully, thousands of seafarers remain stranded at the sea for months beyond their contracted time, and a similar number are stuck at home, unable to join ships and provide for their families. This is causing immense strain, fatigue, exhaustion, and is unsustainable. While there is hope with the development of a distribution of vaccines, it is critically important that seafarers be given priority access to those vaccines to hasten the end of a crew change crisis. Seafarers are fundamental for the global supply chain and the post-COVID recovery. Their rights to safe and decent work conditions must be recognized, respected, and protected. IMO will continue to working toward a wider designation of seafarers as key workers, access to vaccination, and assistance to distressed seafarers through its dedicated Seafarers Crisis Action Team. Today, we express our deepest gratitude to all seafarers while conveying the commendation of the Council to all seafarers. I also wish to take this opportunity to add my own warm appreciation for your dedication and professionalism. I am pleased to announce that the International Transport Workers Federation, Seafarers Trust, is presenting an exhibition of a portrait of seafarers by seafarers. The portrait can be found on the fourth floor. I encourage you all to visit the exhibition during the assembly and reflect again on the challenges seafarers face during these difficult times. The World Maritime theme for 2021 has been Seafarers at the core of shipping's future. We will continue to keep seafarers at the heart of everything we do here at IMO. Next, I'd like to bring your attention to the humanitarian tragedy of lives lost at the sea through unsafe mixed migration. The Mediterranean alone this year has yet again seen thousands of people on perilous crossings in unsafe vessels. Figures from the International Organization for Migration shows that there have been over 140,000 sea arrivals or attempted crossings in the Mediterranean alone so far this year, with more than 1,570 people dead or missing to date. This is an ongoing tragic situation. People continue to make perilous journeys, some of them putting their lives in the hands of unscrupulous smugglers and other predators. But we should recognize that Coast Guard, navies, search and rescue agencies, and merchant vessels continue to rescue persons in distress at the sea, acting in the best tradition of seafaring and ensuring the death toll is not even higher. The IMO Assembly decided to give a special recognition to merchant vessels and their crew involved in the rescue of mixed migrants at the sea, inviting member states to provide information on merchant vessels and their crew deserving of a commendation. This year, IMO has issued 2 certificates marking the commendation of the Assembly for the bravery, professionalism, compassion demonstrated by the nominees. These certificates have gone to Captain Zhang Hui and the crew of the motor vessel Ocean Ang, nominated by China, for the crucial role everyone on board played in rescuing and assisting 41 migrants from a sinking boat in the Aegean Sea. Captain Volodymyr Yaroskin and the crew of the oil tanker Maersk ATN, nominated by the International Chamber of Shipping for their vital role in rescuing and assisting 27 persons from a sinking boat in the Mediterranean Sea. I would like to thank all those countries and organizations that have previously sent information on deserving crews and take this opportunity to encourage member states to continue to do so. But more importantly, my heartfelt thanks goes to all seafarers and rescuers, including Coast Guard, who continue to uphold the humanitarian transition of the sea every day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now turn to the 2021 Awards for Exceptional Bravery at Sea. Every year, the IMO Council bestows awards to individuals who, at the risk of losing their own life, perform acts of outstanding bravery while attempting to rescue persons in distress at sea or to prevent catastrophic pollution of the marine environment. Such acts of bravery may also involve extraordinary seamanship skills in very difficult conditions or any other display of outstanding courage. Due recognition is hereby given to the members of the assessment panel and the panel of judges for their time and dedication given to the difficult task of assessing all nominations and recommending to the Council which persons nominated for the award will be honoured. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank the Government of Spain for the donation of the silver medallions that you can see on the screen and that will be presented to the recipient of the award. There are three categories of recognition for these brave acts, which will be presented in the following order. Firstly, the letters of commendation, which have been sent to those nominees who have judged to deserve recognition for their courageous actions. Next, the certificates of commendation, awarded to nominees who have committed acts of extraordinary bravery. Lastly, the award itself, which goes to the nominee judged to have performed the most outstanding act of bravery from among those described. In pre-pandemic days, we would have been able to congratulate the winners here in person in this very room. However, as this is not currently possible, we would like to show you a 15-minute film that gives details of the heroic acts of those brave men and women.
We will begin the first category of the award, Letters of Commendation. The master and crew of the emergency rescue and response vessel Esvagt Kantana, nominated by Denmark. The crews of the fishing vessels Takei Maru, Hisai Maru, Eiko Maru, and Tomo Maru, nominated by Japan. Ensign Jose Luis Sandoval Estrada, chief of the speedboat squadron, with the naval force of the Nicaraguan armies, nominated by Nicaragua. Captain Bogdan Rusu, master of the MV Cosco Malaysia, nominated by Romania. The master and crew of the oil tanker BW Rhine, nominated by Singapore. Aviation Survival Technician Second Class Christopher Fisher, from the United States Coast Guard, Air Station Elizabeth City, nominated by the United States. Congratulations to all of them. Further details of their courageous actions are available on the IMO website. The next category of the award is Certificates of Commendation. The first certificate is awarded to Captain Ritesh Madhusudan Bamaria, a marine pilot on board the MT Godam, Taurus Pilots, nominated by Australia and the International Transport Workers Federation separately for his decisiveness and extraordinary ship-handling expertise displayed during the rescue of 2 fishermen who had been clinging to a wooden plank for more than 15 hours in treacherous sea conditions caused by adverse weather and the proximity to the coral reef. Captain Bamaria skillfully navigated the vessel in the shallow, restricted waters and raced against time to save the fishermen from the rough seas, surrounding sharks and certain death. We would like to thank the Government of Australia and the ITF for nominating such a courageous recipient. The next certificate is awarded to the members of the diving rescue team of the Guangzhou Rescue Base, Nanhai Rescue Bureau, nominated by China. Their names are Captain Hui Guang Yi, Mr. Tianxi Lan, Mr. Mingzong Deng, Mr. Ji Wei Yu, Mr. Haile Zheng, and Mr. Yu Huizong, and they have been nominated for their courage and diligence displayed in the underwater search and rescue operations of 9 crew members of the capsized 129-meter-long bulk cargo carrier Hongxiang 819. As a result of their professional actions, using the wreck as a working platform for their thorough search for survivors, despite an unstable sinking vessel and hazardous obstacles, they managed to rescue the only survivor after being trapped for 20 hours in a cargo hold and recovered the remains of 4 casualties. We would like to thank the Government of China for nominating such heroic recipients. The next certificate is awarded to members of the Marine Rescue Service Azovo-Chernomorsky Branch, nominated by the Russian Federation Mr. Anton Muradyants, Mr. Gambik Asaturyan, Mr. Denis Nikolenko, Mr. Kirill Vikulov, and Mr. Konstantin Kendigilyan for their remarkable courage and tenacity displayed during the emergency operation on board the MV April, which was flooding carrying dangerous cargo while under the constant threat of explosions and in heavy weather conditions. The nominees identified the source of the water ingress and efficiently performed the emergency works required, thus preventing the sinking of the MV April and the spillage of tons of harmful chemicals into the sea. We would like to thank the government of the Russian Federation for nominating such worthy recipients. The next certificate is awarded to the members of the Degak 20 Diving, Safety, Security, Search and Rescue Team from the Turkish Coast Guard Command, nominated by Turkey. Their names are Mr. Doruk Durmuş Yildiz, Mr. Atakan Ömer Yenilmez, Mr. Erkan Baytekin, and Mr. Olkan Ibrahim Temeloglu. They have been nominated for their courage and determination in the rescue of the crew of the capsized fishing boat Kumsal 55. After rescuing 10 survivors and locating an unconscious crew member who was carefully brought up to the surface by divers, they came up with and successfully executed a challenging plan to rescue, in complete darkness and very dangerous underwater conditions, including floating objects and diesel fuel, a crew member who was trapped in the cabin and unable to swim, and also recovered the remains of a casualty. We would like to thank the government of Turkey for nominating such courageous recipients. The next certificate is awarded to Aviation Survival Technician First Class Joshua Mayfield, Coast Guard Air Station Elizabeth City, North Carolina, United States Coast Guard, nominated by the United States for his exceptional bravery and endurance during the challenging rescue in complete darkness, crashing waves, and gale force winds of 2 mariners from a sailing vessel which had lost power. AST-1 Mayfield spent 60 minutes in frigid waters, swimming constantly through the tumultuous seas to keep the survivors afloat and lift them into the swinging rescue basket to be hoisted to safety. We would like to thank the government of the United States for nominating such a worthy recipient. The next certificate is awarded to Petty Officer First Class Wallace Quall, Coast Guard Station Yaquina Bay, United States Coast Guard, nominated by the United States for his remarkable courage, initiative, and fortitude displayed in the rescue operation of the master of the sinking vessel Legend after all other rescue options were discarded due to extreme conditions caused by local wildfires and the vessel's proximity to the surf zone. BM-1 Quall expertly led a beach crew in the midst of thick smoke, sandstorm, and ash-filled air to reach the scene. He then battled powerful currents when swimming 300 yards on 2 occasions and managed to rescue the master just in time to keep him from slipping below the surface. We would like to thank the government of the United States for nominating such a worthy recipient. The next certificate is awarded to Lieutenant Justin Neal, Lieutenant Jonathan Orthman, Avionics Electrical Technician 2nd Class James Schwader, and Aviation Survival Technician 2nd Class Grant Roberts of the United States Coast Guard Air Station Sitka, nominated by the United States for their bravery, professionalism, and endurance demonstrated during the search and rescue of the sole survivor of the sinking FV Irony, who was found clinging to debris and in a state of panic. As a result of their exemplary team effort, they successfully completed their mission at the edge of the aircraft's effective range, employing all sensors to conduct the search and hoist the survivor in complete darkness, storm force wind, and 12-foot waves. We would like to thank the government of the United States for nominating such courageous recipients. The next certificate, in recognition of the combined exceptional effort from everyone involved in the rescue operation of the MT New Diamond, is shared by India and Sri Lanka. The ship caught fire and was drifting toward the coast laden with dangerous cargo. The recipients of this certificate are Commander Raj Kishore, Lieutenant Commander A.V. Tomar, Chief Petty Officer P. Bhagwan, Petty Officer Sahil, Seaman First Class Sarvashakti, members of the Indian Coast Guard, Pradhan Adhikari Satish, Commandant B. Bhatt Navik, RP, Abhishek Tomar, Navik, RP, Kaushik Nautiyal, as well as Captain Majini Malayalathan and crew of the tugboat Ocean Bliss, nominated by India, who skillfully towed the vessel away from the coast, brought the vessel under control, and carried out effective firefighting, thus preventing a serious marine pollution incident, and Commander KRGRS Rantena, PSC, Lieutenant KGASM Bayaratne, leading engineer mechanic DLK Mudiance, and able seaman WGGU Senaratna, crew members of the patrol boat SLNS Ranarisi, Sri Lanka Navy, nominated by Sri Lanka, who bravely planned, coordinated, and executed the challenging evacuation of 1 casualty and 2 crew members remaining on board the vessel after the majority of the crew abandoned ship. We would like to thank the governments of India and Sri Lanka for nominating such heroic recipients. And now, the highest category of award. This year, the IMO Council decided that the 2021 medal should go to Mr. Tran Van Coy, a search and rescue officer of the Regional Maritime Search and Rescue Coordination Center No. 2, Vietnam Maritime Administration, nominated by Vietnam, for his extraordinary courage, determination, and endurance displayed in rescuing 4 survivors from a sunken vessel in the midst of extreme weather and heavy seas. On the 8th of October 2020, the cargo vessel Vietship 01 was swept away as it was docking due to widespread flooding, and wind gusts of 74 kilometers per hour caused by Typhoon Linfa made it very difficult for rescue efforts, and the vessel sank to the bottom in shallow waters, leaving its 12 crew members trapped on board and gathering on the roof of the cabin. On the early morning of the 9th of October, Mr. Coy was on shore watch duty when he witnessed 2 crew members being washed into the sea by strong waves. Without hesitation, he tied a rope to his body and swam through 5-meter waves and strong currents, rescuing both of them. In the afternoon, 2 more crew members fell into the water and were fortunately tossed ashore by the waves. The following day, a fishing vessel tried to approach the Viet ship 01, but sank before it could reach it. 1 fisherman was swept ashore by rough waves, but the other 3 had to climb onto the Viet ship 01 for safety. On the afternoon of the 10th of October, Mr. Coy volunteered to try a new approach on another fishing vessel. 2 more crew members jumped into the water, and Mr. Coy risked his life yet again, swimming amidst the raging waves to help them board the fishing vessel. Later in the afternoon, he volunteered to steer a rib coach boat against the fierce seas at great risk of overturning the boat after its engine stopped working due to significant flooding. Mr. Coy and his crew quickly fixed the engine problem and continued trying to approach the Viet ship 01 to no avail. They were exhausted, it was dark, and they were ordered to return to shore. The final act of the rescue operation took place on the 11th of October 2020 after rescue helicopters were deployed to the scene and the rest of the survivors were hoisted to safety. Mr. Tran Van Coy, through his courageous actions and tireless attempts in a rescue operation that lasted over 3 days, demonstrated truly exceptional bravery and determination.
Bằng sự quyết tâm và lòng nhiệt huyết yêu nghề, không ngần ngại nguy hiểm, khó khăn, trong những năm qua, tôi luôn thực hiện thành công mọi nhiệm vụ được giao, sẵn sàng xả thân, cống hiến cứu người. Đặc biệt với những vụ việc phức tạp, nguy hiểm, tôi rất vinh dự và xúc động khi được đề cử danh hiệu cao quý Hành động dũng cảm đặc biệt trên biển năm 2021 của Tổ chức Hàng hải Quốc tế. Tôi hy vọng rằng với sự ghi nhận này, tôi có thể lan tỏa tinh thần dũng cảm, ý chí quật cường của con người Việt Nam, đặc biệt đến thuyền viên cả nước, để trong tương lai ta có thể thêm nhiều tấm gương khác, tiếp tục phấn đấu xây dựng một ngành hàng hải nước nhà phát triển.
We would like to thank the government of Vietnam for nominating such an outstanding individual.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply honoured to have here with us this evening Mrs. To Min Tu, who's the Chargée d'Affaires at the Embassy of Vietnam, and I'd like her to come forward to receive the medal and certificate on behalf of Mr. Tran Van Coy. Thank you. And now I would like to invite Mrs. To Min Tu to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His Excellencies, Mr. President and Mr. Secretary General, ambassadors and representatives of the IMO member countries, Officer Trần Văn Khôi and Vietnam Maritime officer who are participating online from my home country, Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, the video is so moved. It is my great honor to be here today at the headquarters of the International Marine Maritime organization for the special IMO Awards Ceremony. That will be a very memorable moment in my life. I'm so touched and proud that my fellow citizen, the crewman Trần Văn Khôi, was nominated for the Noble IMO Award for exceptional bravery at sea. Officer Khôi has well demonstrated the brave spirit of generations of Vietnamese maritime search and rescue, being a great source of encouragement for Vietnamese rescuers today and in the future. A warrior at sea like Mr. Khôi is the pride of the Vietnamese maritime forces. Officer Khôi, you may be watching from Vietnam. Congratulations to you and the team. And on behalf of the government and the people of Vietnam, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the IMO Council and staff for all your support for Vietnam and for the Noble Award to Officer Trần Văn Khôi. As the Embassy of Vietnam in London, we will do our utmost to facilitate the effective cooperation between Vietnam and the IMO and to promote maritime development in Vietnam. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony for the presentation of this year's IMO Awards, and I wish to offer our warm and sincere congratulations to all the worthy recipients and to the governments and organisations that nominated them. We thank you for joining us here this evening, and hello to everybody online, and now invite you to the reception, obviously only a few in here, in honour of the awards recipients. It's hosted by the Secretary-General and it's in the Delegates' Lounge on the first floor. Also, let me also remind you to visit the exhibition of the Seafarers' Portraits on the fourth floor, currently organised by the ITF Seafarers Trust. Not this evening, it's there for the whole duration of the Assembly. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.